Hello, everyone. It's your host, Seth the Programmer. With me today, I have my good friend Darsh, and we're going to be talking about Momoshiki versus Kaguya. So recently, after Boruto, in the manga, especially, Momoshiki's had his debut, and, everyone's talking about how Kaguya whoops the shit out of Momoshiki or something, or people just can't accept that Momoshiki is stronger. So today, we're going to be debunking that. And without further ado, here's my friend Darsh.
Yo, what's up, everybody? And yeah, like Seth said, I'm gonna be covering and explaining why Momoshiki just mops the floor with Kaguya. But, so I'm gonna be dividing this up into 3 points. First point, probably just gonna start with the statement that pretty much started the entire debate, where Sasuke, after coming back from his mission, which is pretty much what he's been doing for the past decade or so,
Yeah.
he comes back and he says that he's found evidence that there's a there's an threat out there that's even greater than Kaguya.
Right.
And there's two main misconceptions about this. First one is that people claim it's a hyperbole or a lie. Well, first of all, that wouldn't make much sense because the Kages are busy. They don't have time to go out doing the shit that Sasuke does. The information that he brings them, they have to take the information and they plan and prepare based on what he tells them. Like if he tells them a fucking army of shinobi is coming to attack Team Lead,
Yeah.
that's what they have to base the information on.
And
So it would make zero sense for Sasuke to tell them a hyperbole as fact or a lie.
yeah, and didn't Sasuke? He was like, even though they only knew the lore, they're like, okay, this guy's stronger than Kaguya. They never fought him yet. There's like, this guy's stronger than Kaguya. Sasuke's like, yeah, we'll whoop his ass, no problem. You remember that?
Exactly.
So him being weaker than Kaguya or doesn't make a lot of sense, especially in Sasuke's case, because Sasuke's like, yo, I'll whoop Kaguya's bitch ass, if we need to fight again. So
Exactly. And Sasuke is someone who's a legit actually fought Kaguya before and knows her strength anyway.
yeah, exactly.
And then the second main misconception is that just because Momoshiki wasn't outright stated to be more powerful than Kaguya, that doesn't mean he actually is, because he was stated to be a greater threat. Oh, that doesn't mean he's more powerful than Kaguya. Well, let me explain it this way. All right. Kaguya has the Eternal Truth Seeker Orb, which is capable of wiping out her entire dimensions, which at least has a planet. So at very least, it's a planet busting attack.
Exactly.
She also has the Infinite Tsukuyomi, capable of putting pretty much everyone on the planet under an illusion that they can't break free on their own. So with these two, she's easily a threat to everyone on the entire planet, right?
Yeah.
And Momoshiki doesn't have either of those abilities, and yet he's stated to be an even greater threat to all of existence than she is. So how could he possibly be a greater threat than her without having such powerful, devastating, abilities like that? It's because he's just straight up more powerful than she is.
Yeah, so he's stated to be a greater threat, yet Kaguya is capable of obliterating the entire fucking planet and controlling everybody at once. So he would logically, since he doesn't have those hacks, have to be stronger than her to, conform with that threat. Yeah,
to be a greater threat, he has to be just completely stronger, superior in his stat. And now, after I clear up those two, the second point. Now, this is a pretty much irrefutable facts right here. During the Boruto movie, when Kinshiki and Momoshiki invaded the tournament or whatever, Naruto's wondering who they are, and Sasuke explains that on the scroll that he got from Kaguya's dimension after they translated it, it pretty much said that these guys would come to revive the chakra fruit in our world, and that Kaguya was amassing an entire army of white Zetsu just to fight them off.
So they're trying to make the God tree?
They're trying to revive the God tree in order to take the fruit, and convert it into peels. Momoshiki explained that those peels make them immortal, eternally young, and powerful. That's exactly, they have to consistently get those peels, so they have to keep. So it's pretty much implied they go from world to world, gathering chakra fruits, converting them into peels so that they can consume them and stay immortal. Kaguya knew this, and the scroll literally said she was going to build an army to fight them off. She went through trying to build this army for decades, at least, probably maybe even centuries. But she took decades doing this twice. The first time she was defeated and sealed by her own children. As we know, she came back during the war. She took over Madara's body. She came back and immediately went back to rebuilding the army. That's just how hell-bent she was on making this army. Exactly. Literally goes back to making the army. First thing she does, as soon as she's revived. Like, you don't go through that much trouble for that long trying to build an army unless you absolutely have to. It's like, no, there's no,
And
people will try to deny that and say, oh, well, she just needed an army because she'd rather have the army fight than her fight. No, that makes no sense at all. Because even Sasuke with the fucking, when he first awakened the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan was bodying white Zetsu left and right. An entire planet full of Zetsu would not be able to handle even Kinshiki by themselves.
yeah, he
Logically,
just
she
flipped
meant
the
that
planet.
exactly. Like logically, she meant that she would fight them alongside her army because the army on its own to fight them makes no sense at all. So to assume, oh, she was just making one to have the army fight in her place, no, that's not even a decent argument at all. She made the army because she was afraid. She knew that they would come and demolish her if it was just her on her own. And she went
And
trying to gather as much chakra as possible for decades to fight them all.
she actually didn't even go through that length. She was so bent on making this fucking army that she would rather kill her own kids than not make this army. Like, that's fucking fear. That is fear, man. Like, you cannot tell me Momoshiki is not scaring this bitch shitless right now.
And this was way back in the past. There's no telling how powerful she could have been basing this off of how powerful they were in the past. There's no telling how much stronger they were by the time they actually showed up. So
yeah,
she could have been fearing them when they were way, way weaker than what they were when they actually did appear. So there's that as well.
yeah, like didn't they ate the 8 tails and a shit ton of Naruto's chakra and all that?
Exactly.
So they were at least stronger. There's no and he was tossing pills around and shit. He was getting a lot stronger. So he was a lot stronger than Kage would even remember. So that's even more icing on the cake.
It's crazy. And then but yeah, that second point is pretty much irrefutable. You cannot deny Kaguya herself running scared, building a fucking army because she wants to fight these, or she has to in order to fight these people. She's weaker than Momoshiki. That's irrefutable. But as for if you want even more evidence, that I don't know why, but my third point is involving scaling. Seth touched up on this a lot or several times in his recent videos, but Kinshiki in the Boruto novel was confirmed to be capable of splitting the world in two.
Yeah.
And basically, to summarize, if you cut the world with enough force to overpower the gravitational binding energy of the world, that would require planet level force. And if you didn't, that would be a pretty much small planet level. So Kinshiki on his own is already confirmed small planet to planet level. And base Momoshiki
with just
is
raw
above
force.
Kinshiki. Exactly. Just raw force. Like fucking taking a giant blade like Donaria, just cut the shit in half. Like that's just how fucking powerful he is. So Kinshiki is already a small planet to planetary threat, at least. Momoshiki in base is already superior to him. Kaguya wasn't really a planetary threat without the Eternal Truth-Seeking Orb. So Momoshiki pretty much has her outclassed already, just scaling from Kinshiki, I'm sorry. So you have the fucking fact that Sasuke, someone who fought Kaguya, stated this would be a greater threat than Kaguya. You have Kaguya herself proving that Momoshiki is superior to her when she went out of her way like twice for decades to build a fucking army to fight him. A planet full of white Zetsu, like a planetary army just to fight this dude. And then you have scaling from Kinshiki, who's already confirmed to be at least small planet to planet level. Just scaling from him, Momoshiki is completely dominating Kaguya.
And then you
can go ahead.
And then you have fucking Momoshiki on top of that eats Kinshiki.
Exactly. Like this whole time, this has been base Momoshiki. Don't even get me started on when he eats Kinshiki. Like it's a stop.
So one of the more popular refutes to this, or refutes, quotation, is that the 5 Kage gave Momoshiki trouble. What would you say about that?
Well, first off, we just have to make it clear that we literally have no idea how powerful these Kage were by this time. Because ever since Ito Tensei Madara smacked down 5 Kage at the same time, everyone just labels the Kages as fodder. Yeah. But you have to think, there have been very powerful shinobi in the past. Just think at the 3rd Raikage. So powerful, he was able to stalemate the 8 Tails, one of the more powerful Biju. Yep. We have fucking Madara with his perfect Susanoo was comparable to a Biju. We have the 4th Raikage in the last. Him and a couple dozen other shinobi combined their chakra and created enough energy to blow apart the moon. That's just how powerful some shinobi can get. And to just assume that these Kage were just fodder because Madara smacked a couple of them way back when, which were different Kage anyways. But to assume they're just fodder based on literally nothing, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
Yeah, they
they've
could
seen
have
threats
trained
like
or whatever. So.
exactly. They've seen threats like Kaguya and Jubi Madara. I highly doubt they haven't been training a shit ton since then.
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
even Kakashi, while as Hokage, I think in the novel he was training to learn like new jutsu and shit. I think it was the Shinden or something. It was like a purple fucking Chidori or something that made like Onoki or the Tsuchikage in shock at how powerful Kakashi's new jutsu was that he made after the war. So that just goes to show that the Kage are still learning new shit after the war is over.
Which would make sense considering during the war they saw a lot of shit they've never seen before. And I'm pretty sure it scared the hell out of them. So like, all right, after this, I'm not sitting on my ass anymore. I gotta get up, I gotta go train, I gotta get stronger and whatever. The second point to that is that the Kages never really straight up overpowered Kinshiki or Momoshiki. In both the manga and the movie, Kinshiki was actually defeated because Sasuke helped out. Kinshiki was actually pretty much overpowering the Kages. He was cutting down one. He was in the process of cutting down one, and then Sasuke intervened. And while Sasuke did some damage to him, he was distracted for a little bit, and that's when they managed to seal him. Momoshiki, on the other hand, he didn't give a shit. Like in both the manga and the movie too, he pretty much called them insignificant, and he was just casually fighting off the Kages. He didn't really
one-shot
show.
one?
I believe he did. he literally proved he was superior to them. He didn't give a damn at the present at all. And then only after Naruto and Sasuke, along with the other Kages, had him surrounded, that's when he started to show that he was intimidated because he knew how powerful Sasuke was, how powerful Naruto was, and he's like, okay, now now I'm kind of in trouble. And that's when he decided to eat Kinshiki. But before that, the Kaguya's didn't have either of them at a disadvantage. Kinshiki was a fucking brawler. He was gonna eat them all alive if it weren't for the fact that Sasuke wasn't there.
Exactly.
And Momoshiki really didn't even care to acknowledge their presence because of Momoshiki shit. He feels like he's above everybody. He's like, who are these people? They're not anything to me. Use the Kage as an example to downplay. No, that's ridiculous. There's no telling how powerful they were. And then there's also the fact that Sasuke and Naruto helped, with cornering them anyway.
The same Naruto and Sasuke that said they could fuck up Kaguya level threats like nothing. A few chapters
exactly
ago.
That have been growing in power exponentially since the war arc.
So there's some people that would say that they haven't grown at all since the war arc. Like, can you?
What are your thoughts on that? That's absolutely insane. Even Naruto in the last has been training a shit ton. Like if you look, when we first see Naruto, he's doing nothing but training in the last, and we also see that he's training solo. Back before in Shippuden, his most effective training method was using the multi-shadow clone jutsu training, right? Yeah. He was training by himself, which means whatever training he's doing now is so effective, it surpasses the multi-shadow clone jutsu training.
That could be like thousands of times.
Exactly. He's fucking throwing golden Russian shurikens in base. When Toneri yanked out his fucking chakra, he blew a hole in the damn moon. Toneri's golden wheel was calculated at like continent plus. Naruto overpowered it in base form. He literally just pushed it with his hand and ran and pushed back a continental attack in base form. Like he's been growing in power since the war.
Isn't this the same Naruto? The same Naruto that has a whole nether half of the Nine Tails as well?
Exactly. He only had one half during the war, and now he's got both, and plus years of training stacked onto that.
Yeah, he would definitely ass fuck Kaguya at this point.
We've already proven that base is above Kaguya, period. People can deny that as much as you want. He's above Kaguya in base.
Yep.
He then absorbs Kinshiki, a small planet-to-planet level threat, and stacks that on top of that. There's no way that she's even coming close to dealing with that gap in power.
There's no way.
Jump from base, even if she could possibly handle base, she can't. But even if she could, there's no way she's being able to handle that stack up of power with adding Kinshiki on top of Momoshiki. She's done. There's no handle with Momoshiki.
All right, guys. So there you have it. Momoshiki fucking cream pies Kaguya, low diff, and possibly if she does, give Momoshiki some trouble when he absorbs Kinshiki, it's also no diff. Momoshiki would just absolutely stomp Kage with no difficulty. There's no argument otherwise, other than pure headcanon. I've never seen an argument other than pure headcanon, because there's no feats that imply Kage is stronger. There's no lore that implies she's stronger. It's just pure headcanon. So Momoshiki stomps. Special thanks to Darshe. I will link his Google Plus if you want to hit him up in the description. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching.